today we'll be presenting on the topic, as she said, securing UI and microservices within Kubernetes using OPA. And before starting, I would like to give a brief introduction about myself and my colleague Ajeet. So I am Shefali Pachori. I have overall 5 years of experience currently working with Omnicell.
And my name is Ajeet, and I am currently an engineer 3 in Omnicell. Yeah.
So in Omnicell, we are working upon the same authorization related applications. Yeah. So before moving ahead, I want to give a brief background definition about few of the things that are involved with application security. First of all is, I think whenever a user starts to access a particular application, the first thing that you do is to perform authentication. That is, you provide the username and password and you sign into a system. So the authentication is actually identifying what a user, identifying the identity of a user and whether the user is who he claims to be. So that is authorization and, that is authentication, and then as we move ahead, we cannot be just like that. If a user is logged in, then he should have privilege to do anything in the system. So in order to identify that what a particular user, which privilege a user have over which resource is known as authorization. And as nowadays the organization are moving ahead and adopting distributed systems and microservices, it has become really important to have a decentralized and a unified solution for authorization, and having a policy decision point system which can integrate and can work as a in which we can provide the policies as a code in which you can maintain that particular system, so that suppose you have a kind of requirement which you came up in the starting of your application development cycle, and later on you have added a lot of things inside it, and mostly right now the system that the issue that they face is that testing is very difficult, and OPA provides a very flexible solution around it. So a policy decision point is something that does this decision evaluation by running some running the policies evaluation against the data that you provide to it. So PDPs can be of 2 types. First of all is you can define your own custom PDPs. So whenever you are defining a custom PDP, there are few issues that you might face, like how you are going to store your data inside the application, like inside this PDP, and how your data will be evaluated inside it, how the caching can be done, or how you are going to retrieve the data in a faster way. So these are some challenges that people usually face with defining a custom PDP, and so we decided to go ahead with OPA, which is an open source project, and it provides a very flexible solution by isolating all the policies and providing us a PDP, and it evaluates everything within in-memory, so it is very faster and more efficient. So as I said, OPA provides a lot of flexibility. Also, it has a lot of frameworks for testing, and it provides policy as code. So you can maintain version, test everything inside OPA. And it uses a unified policy language which is known as REGO, as in the previous slide the colleague showed. So yeah, so the policy can be written inside the REGO language, and they can be based upon your requirement for the policies, like what are the complexities that you have inside the policies, how you want to evaluate them, like whether you want to use an RBAC system or you want to use an ABAC system, that is attribute access control. So depending upon the context and your expressions for your policy, you can define different policies inside the REGO language. So you want to explain about role-based and access-based control?
Yeah. So basically, in case of open policy agent, right, it uses REGO, and data inside is cache. So most of the services which is using authorization layer, they will pass a JSON data to open policy agent, and OPA will evaluate the REGO policies to make the decision. right? So coming to REGO, so REGO is a policy logic that is applied to the data. It's a general purpose language, and it can be we can work in REGO with both YAML and JSON as well. Okay. Okay. Here is a simple use case. We can have multiple tenants, and multiple tenants user can like calls PEP, and PEP will calls OPA to make the decisions. And like we have a simple data in the cache, like we have roles for each the tenants, and we will pass this kind of input data, and this is the policy which we are going to evaluate. We have method to get, and there are so based upon the request data, we'll get the tenant ID and the data, and based upon the data, we'll make another function call that will say whether I'm allowed or not. Okay. Yeah. So apart from securing the microservices, we can also secure the UIs. So whenever UI makes a call, whenever user makes a call to UI, so the open policy agent will return which all components the user has access to. Okay, and based upon the data the UI service get, either this application is built upon Node or Angular, whatever the components it gets, it will render it in the UI, and whichever the components which are not accessible will be hidden from the user. Yeah, we can move back to the demo. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is the basic page where we are managing users and permissions. So you can say Johnny is a admin user and Dave is a normal user. Okay. And here we are managing the permissions. So we have a event resource where user with user role can have read, write, and delete permissions, as well as admin have read, write, and delete permissions. Okay. So admin is logged now, and he can see this page is accessible to him with add event and delete event permission. Right. So we'll go ahead and remove the read access, and if the user refreshes the page, he will get an access denied here. We have given the read access again, and now we are gonna add an event here. Yeah, so event is added here, and the user also have a delete access, so he can go ahead and delete the record. And now we are gonna remove the write and delete access. So first now we have removed the delete access. So the delete component has been vanished now. So user can't access it anymore. Also, if you remove the write access, the add event button will not come. So this entire thing is filtered by the OPA itself to remove the components in the UI. Similarly, we have another user Dev. Since he has all the permissions, we are able to see all the details in the pages. Yeah. So if we remove permission for Dev also, he will not be able to see the edit buttons. Yeah, that's all from the demo side and the presentation. Any questions for us?